What's up, everybody? It's Strings and Sweaters, and let's talk playoffs. Playoffs? Alright, let's get into this. So tomorrow, we have the first round of playoffs kicking off with the Islanders versus the Hurricanes. We also got the Maple Leafs versus the Bruins. I'm going to give you my predictions. We're going to go all the way to the Stanley Cup winners, and we'll see if I'm right. So let's get into this. Let's start in the West and go our way over to the East. So we'll alternate. So let's go to the first matchup. We got the Stars versus the Vegas Knights. And the Vegas Knights have had a down year. They haven't been as good as they have been, but what can you expect from the team that won the Stanley Cup? It's very hard to get back to the Stanley Cup and do a repeat. And the Knights are going to be playing the Dallas Stars, who are the number one team in the West. They're looking good. They're looking good. They got Jamie Benn as their captain. And they also have Ottinger. They got Jason Robertson. The Dallas Stars look pretty freaking stacked. I'm not going to lie. And being that Vegas is coming off a Stanley Cup winning year, and they're a little bit more lackluster than usual, I'm going to go with the Stars in this round, beating the Vegas Knights. All right, let's head on over to the East. All right, in this first round matchup, we got the Panthers versus the Lightning, the battle of the Florida teams. I don't know if that's ever happened in the Stanley Cups before. This might be a first. So the Panthers had that amazing upset last year with the Bruins, pretty much going all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, and then they were just a little bit too banged up. Matthew Tkachuk looked like a freaking Greek god out there. So the Panthers they could have taken a step forward or a step back with this season. It's also hard to lose a Stanley Cup and also get back to the Stanley Cup, but the Panthers have been looking amazing, just amazing. They have really upped their game this season. They have a great defense. They have great scores. You got Vorhage. You got Sam Reinhart. You got all the classic guys who got you to the Cup last year. So I'm thinking Florida Panthers. I'm leaning on there, but they're going to be playing the Lightning. And the Lightning, I watched them when they played the Penguins a few weeks ago, and their power play, and just if it does go to overtime, with limited numbers, 4-on-4, 3-on-3, whatever it is, when they're able to set up a passing triangle zone, I don't know hockey, like really the strategies, but when they're able to basically set up guys in front of the net and really have spacing with Stamkos, they're pretty much guaranteed to put the puck in the back of the net. So there's the one thing, it's like the X factor thing. If the Florida Panthers take a lot of penalties in this series, I just don't know. But I also believe in the goaltending. I believe that Bob can lead them to many shutouts and sweeps again. They're on fire when they got him behind them. And you need a good goalie to go far in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers. That's just where my heart lies right now. All right, next matchup, we got the Avalanche versus the Jets. The Avalanche, you have Nathan MacKinnon. Solid player, all-around player, might be one of the best NHL players in the league. With the Jets, you have Hellebuck, a great goalie. You have Scheifele. You have some great dudes there. But the thing is I want to say for this series, it's going to be real tight. It might even go to 7 games. But I think goaltending will prevail, and I don't believe in the Avalanche's goaltending. I'm going to go with the Jets on this one. All right, and now going over to the East, we have the Bruins versus the Maple Leafs. The Bruins looked really good this whole season, almost as good as last season when they had their record-breaking win streak. So the Bruins, I don't think they're going to get swept. They're not playing the Panthers, so I think they're going to beat the Leafs. Now, the Leafs, Matthews has had like pretty much the best year he could have had. He's doing amazing. But there's always that question with, can they actually show up in the playoffs, or are they going to choke? They look good for like the first 2 games last year, but then it just falls apart. And I don't really think Austin Matthews is the guy who like pulls his team up around him. I think he does well, but it kind of doesn't really affect the people around him. Doesn't really motivate them to play better. And goaltending is a huge problem that the Maple Leafs have had for a while. So Bruins, 2 of the best goaltenders you could even want on your team with Allmark and Swayman. So yeah, and you have the Pastrnak on the team. You have experience with Marchand in the playoffs, winning a Stanley Cup. I know Bergeron's not there anymore, but I just think the Bruins have that depth. I'm going with the Bruins or the Maple Leafs. Sorry, Toronto. You're out of the playoffs once again. All right, moving over back to the West, we got the Canucks versus the Preds. Preds, they're looking good, but I don't know. I just don't see that team as having a full kind of like rebuild. Like, they had some down years, and now they're good. They're better. This is a good season for them. You still have Yossi. But I just don't see the full rebuild there. They have good goaltending. But the Canucks they're that team. Like, they really are that team. They're going to be very hard to beat. They're built tough. So I'm going to go with the Canucks for this one. This will probably be one of those matchups that surprises everybody. I might even call this one a possible sweep. All right, moving back over to the East, we got my Capitals versus the Rangers, and I'm just so excited that the Capitals are in the playoffs, just because it gives Ovechkin a little more time to break Gretzky's record. But at the same time, do I believe the Capitals will beat the Rangers? Not at all. Not at all. Shesterkin is one of the best goalies in the playoffs. He's lights out. The Rangers will take this, as they are predicted probably to do it. You just have too many good players. I mean, we got Panarin, we have Zibanejad, just Fox. I mean, this team has like 5 assistant captains on their team, just because they're all that good. So, yeah, Rangers are going to probably sweep the Caps. I know I predicted a sweep in the last matchup, but this also probably will be a sweep. The Caps also, they get really sluggish in games, and the tempo and matchup, like speed matchup the Rangers will have against them is just going to be, it's not going to be possible for the Caps. Sorry, Caps fans. It's cool that we made the playoffs, though, I guess. So, yeah, go Ovechkin. Beat Gretzky's record. Last matchup on the West, we got the Oilers versus the Kings. I'm just going to be honest here. I hate the Kings. I'm just biased like that, so I'm never going to pick the Kings. Luckily for me, the Oilers, they're a good team. They got McDavid. They have Draisaitl. I think they've kind of answered the goaltending this year. So they also have good defense. So the Oilers are improved and ready for the playoffs. This might be the year that they go deep. Who knows? But they're definitely beating the Kings. I mean, come on, get out of here. All right, Oilers. For our last matchup, we have one of the hardest matchups to choose. This is going to be the Canes versus the Islanders. Both have good goalies. Both have really good forwards. I don't know. I mean, you got Aho on one side. You have Anders Lee and Barzal on the other side. I mean, it's going to be an offensive battle. And I see the trade acquisition of Jake Gensel to the Carolina Hurricanes as being a huge playoff push for them. Jake has the experience with the Penguins, and he's also just upped the level of offense that they have now to just a crazy, crazy degree. I mean, the Canes are going to be a team to beat in the playoffs, and they're definitely not going to fall to the Islanders. The Islanders have showed some big lapses this year in games that really mattered. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Canes on this one. Let's go to our second round matchups. All right, let's start in the West. We got the Stars versus the Jets. I'm just going to go with my heart here. I think the Stars are going to beat the Jets. I know good goaltending matters, but the Stars just have like this insane offense, and I don't think the Jets really are going to be able to put up a fight. All right, let's go to our next second round matchup. All right, now we have the Panthers versus the Bruins, a playoff rematch from last year, except this time the Panthers are not the last seed and they're not the underdogs, and the Bruins should be taking this way more seriously than last time so that they aren't being swept. That being said, the Panthers have gotten a lot better. The Bruins have also gotten a lot better. This is a very difficult one to choose from, but for this one, I'm going to have to go with the Bruins. They just have that goaltending option if they do have a goaltender go bad. You know, like if Bob goes bad, what are they going to do? What are you going to do? If anyone gets injured on the Panthers, what are you going to do? Bruins have so much depth that honestly, I don't even worry about them. I know this is the overconfidence the Bruins had last year, and they lost because of it. But I'm gonna, let's just say it how it is. The Bruins are the better team. They're the more multi-dimensional team, if that makes any sense. They can beat you in other ways than just one. All right, moving on to our next round matchup. We are going over to the West. And we got the Canucks versus the Oilers. Now, I'm just going to go off of my gut on this one. The Oilers have had problems showing up in the playoffs, playing defense in the playoffs. The Canucks are a young team. They have really skilled players in Hughes. They're really just like well balanced. I think they're going to be able to beat the Oilers in this one. So I have the Canucks moving forward. And lastly, we got the Rangers and the Canes in this very star-studded Eastern playoff matchup. You're going to have the likes of Jake Gensel, Aho, Brent Burns, Shesterkin, Zibanejad. Literally, you will see all the best NHL players in this matchup if it does happen. But let's be real. The Canes are going to have the hottest offense in the NHL playoffs this year. And the Rangers have been choking. They've been choking since they played the Penguins back in the day. But they've been really choking in the last few years. And I don't think anything's going to change. I think the Rangers are going to keep choking. Canes moving forward. Alrighty, we are almost at the end of this video. Please make sure you give a like and subscribe. I'm staying up way past my bedtime and I got work tomorrow morning shooting this. So it would really mean a lot to me if you guys gave a like to this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming out as the playoffs continue. Let's talk about our final round championship matchups, starting with the East. We got the Bruins versus the Canes. So the Canes in their championship, they were, I guess it would be the semifinals. I don't know why I'm calling it the championship, the Eastern Championship, I guess, Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, the Canes, they fought hard, and their coach kept saying that, it's not that we are losing these games badly. We're fighting hard. We're in it. But oddly enough, when they played the Panthers last year in the playoffs, they just didn't score at all. They were clearly showing, but that's the Bob effect. Bobrovsky was going crazy, and that's another thing that could happen with the Bruins is Allmark or Swayman could really heat up when the Canes need a little bit of help to score, and that could stop them. But to be honest with you, I think the Canes are going to be able to take the Bruins here. I think the Canes are going to the Stanley Cup. Let's go. All right, and now on the Western side, we got the Stars versus the Canucks. I think the Stars are the most balanced, depth, have the strongest depth of any team in the playoffs right now. And I'm going to say the Stars are going to beat the Canucks, although this will be one of the closest matchups if it does happen in the playoffs. That's my prediction. All right, drum roll. We got the Stanley Cup playoffs versus the Dallas Stars versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Wow, what a matchup. Okay, who am I going to pick? So let's look at it this way. At the end of the playoffs, players are injured. They're bruised up. They've been playing all season through injuries, waiting, delaying surgeries just so that they can make it this far. Teams are going to be worn out. So it's going to be very, very important to think about what teams are going to be able to finish their opponents off quickly so they have, first off, less games and more rest days in their run to the Cup. Now, I do truly believe both these teams will get to the Cup. The Canes have the offense they need. Dallas Stars have the depth they need, the young stars, the captain, Jamie Benn. Both teams have what they need to make it to the playoffs, but what will they lose in the journey there? That's the question. That's the unknown variable that we can't predict. What injuries will change the entire dynamic and outlook of their team? I think the Stars are going to sweep at least one of their matchups. The Canes, I highly doubt they're going to sweep any of their matchups. I think they're going to have the hardest road to the playoffs. I think the Stars will have healthy players, and I think they're going to hit a really hot streak coming in. The Canes, though, on the other hand, are going to have players that have been there. They've been in Stanley Cup finals. You have Brent Burns. He has been in a Stanley Cup final. You have Jake Gensel. He knows how to turn it on when he needs to turn it on. The Canes, honestly, in a regular season matchup, I'm going Canes every time. But you're talking about the playoffs here, and the playoffs are different. So, my prediction for your Stanley Cup champion is going to be the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars will hoist the cup once again. They've waited since 1999 for this moment. 2024, they will be the Stanley Cup champions. Let's go, Dallas Stars. Obviously, as these games go, I'm going to have to change some of this stuff up. Some of these teams might be first-round exits that I have going super deep. So keep watching. This is the chance for you guys to go down and hit subscribe on the video and like. And thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you think my picks are good. If you think they're complete crap, let me know. Who do you think is going to go to the Stanley Cup? Who are you rooting for? Are you a fan of any of the teams? I'm a Penguins fan, so I get to root for the Caps since I live in DC, but I don't really have a dog in the fight either way, so I'm just excited to watch some good hockey. Anyways, this is Strings and Sweaters. Peace out.